I'm going to kickstart the next panel now. What we really wanted to touch on with Crunch, because there are so many projects out there, so many people are building things, so many people are coming with amazing tech and stuff, and not enough people, in my opinion, are talking about go-to-market. How do you bring this tech actually in the hand of the end user? And that's what we try. We're going to try to tackle again in less than 30 minutes, which is like super hard. So first, can you guys intro your project, what you're doing, so everybody know what you're working on, if they don't know already, your project open things.
Awesome. What's up, everyone? First, I just want to say I've been to several side events at the Ethereum Denver conference so far, and this one is the most full, so possibly less around there. But what's up, everyone? I'm Glenn. I'm the sales development manager at Alchemy. Yes, I said the S word. Maybe that's like a hot take, but I think we need more of sales in Web3 go-to-market and less just BD. Although I do still have that in my Twitter bio. But nice to meet you guys.
And there is this kind of panel where everyone comes with a character, like with an anime or an NFT guy. I fucking hate you because it's super hard to moderate this kind of panel.
Apart from my sexy friend in the middle there, look at him.
Yeah, right. Thank you, man. That's a French touch. Always.
There you go. Egor here from Infinex. I sit as part of the leadership team, look after treasury and commercials. It's quite interesting to see that the room is empty for a go-to-market panel. Maybe that tells us something about our value extractive market, that everyone's just here for the freebies, but hopefully we can share some insights on how to actually do some work and get customers onboarded. So
yes, I love it.
Yes.
And it's recorded anyway for the people that are going to need a go-to-market strategy in the coming weeks.
Hi everyone, my name is Bourjois from Nosana. So Nosana, we are a decentralized GPU marketplace on Solana, and we do it mostly for AI inference, and I'm taking care of like the business development and the partnership. So happy to be here. And if after this panel you have any questions and you want to need GPU or whatever, you can always like talk to me or David here.
Thank you.
You got any gaming GPUs? I need to upgrade. Hi, my name is Ren.
Right, let's go to market, right?
Only the sheep though. My name is Ren. I work at Eclipse. Eclipse is Solana on Ethereum. We bought the SVM to Ethereum as an L2 and sort of enabling a new class of applications to be built on Ethereum while tapping into ETH users and liquidity. I lead ecosystem and very excited to be here. Thanks for the invite.
Thank you, man.
Yeah, I'll put my hands. Hi, Jason. I was on the previous panels too. So, Jason here from Solayer. We're building hardware accelerated SVM layer to scale Solana in a transparent way. So the chain is capable of hitting 1 million TPS upon launch. You'll be able to see that if you go to explore.solayer.org. It's already running at close to 500,000 TPS today. Then we're still making some minor adjustments to the caching and the IO layer for it to go up even more. And then the idea here is that you don't even need to switch wallets in order to use Infinex SVM. We just need developers to install small SDK and everything's offloaded transparently. It's just because of these different design choices that Solana has made, which means that the bridging, there's no bridging basically. It's going to be very, very transparent to the end users.
Nice. Okay, first question is for you, Glenn. You're gonna need a mic. What are the biggest challenges for Web3 projects when they go to market?
Yeah, so I think there's a lot of challenges, but one that comes to mind for me is a lot of teams try to market to everyone instead of understanding their ideal customer profile. So I actually neglected to share in my intro, but I have 7 years of building and scaling go-to-market teams in Web2 before the past 2 years at Alchemy. So I remember like in my first sales job, I literally got handed out like 6 printed pieces of paper that were like, these are your 6 ideal customer profiles. Here's all the like messaging, pain points, how you like go to market differently like for all of these. And then we go in Web3 and I think we're a bit idealistic and we just assume everyone wants to use our product. And that's something that we fall victim to sometimes at Alchemy as well, just because we have so many projects or products across both EVM and Solana. So that's just like a continual like challenge I think that teams need to come to terms with, is really learning what your ideal customer profile is and also staying on top of it, right? Because in crypto things change so quickly. Your ICP Monday might be totally different from next.
Any resources you wanna mention? Any resources, any books that you wanna
you want to mention on that front?
Any what I want to mention?
Any books of entrepreneurs that are from Web2 and that could be good reference for the guys?
Yeah, so I this might be a hot take, but I think most sales books are actually kind of garbage. Like most of them say the same thing, and the purpose of like a sales book is like to sell more sales books. But one that I think is really good is called Gap Selling by Keenan. And it's a very simple premise, but it's like, you've got a customer who's in one point A and they need to get to point B and they don't know how to cross that bridge. So you need to help them understand like what that bridge is and how to cross it. But also if your solution doesn't cross that bridge, also like pointing that out is okay too. And sometimes actually leads to a stronger relationship.
Super cool. Next question is for Egor and Infinex. How do you define a successful go-to-market?
Yeah, so we started, when we looked at Infinex, we really built a product for ourselves. We looked at what are the things that we really want out of this? How do we want to onboard onto crypto? How do we want to onboard our cousin Steve onto crypto? And then we built that around it. So you find your top 100 users, your top 100 target market, and you really have to relentlessly focus on them. You can't focus on the wider market because it's just too big and too broad. As my friend had said, like, if you don't have 100 people that love your product, you actually have no product. And if you don't build it for yourself, and if you don't use it, you have no product. So what we started with was build it for yourself, build it for the things that you want to do and you want to use, and you will find your 100 people. You will find the people that relentlessly use it, give you feedback to improve it. And you have to open that channel. If you're not talking to your users as much as possible, how are you going to iterate? It will be impossible. It will be really, really difficult. So you have to talk to the users, you have to build product for yourself, and you have to find your 100.
Nice. Any metrics you want to mention that you like to monitor?
Yeah, so when you're speaking to VCs, the traditional guys love normal Web2 metrics. There's your cohort analysis, your daily actives, your monthly actives. What you want to do is figure out how you actually go to market, whether it's fee-based, whether it's volume-based, whether it's TVL or activity-based. Most layer ones, most layer twos that you talk to, they know the metrics, but they don't understand why it's important to them. For us, the important metrics are TVL because we are a custody platform that allows you to have self-custody. You need funds in Infinex if you want to use the swapping and bridging. If you want to use, if you want to get airdrops given to you, you have to have deposits in there. So that's a metric that's really important for us. The second is what are you actually doing on platform? If you look at Binance, 80 to 90% of people on Binance custody, swap using spot, and that's it. They don't use perps, they don't engage in any other farming techniques. It's actually just two things. So you figure out what the important metrics are for you, and then you tell everybody else what those metrics are.
Thanks. Next question is for Bourjois. What's the role of partnerships in go-to-market?
Good question. I would say the role of partnership and go-to-market is to go to the next level, to scale. So many people use the term like synergy. I don't really like this term because what does that mean? But like if we have to talk about synergy and partnership, the idea is that for business you can focus on the core activities, the core product that you want to share, and then you do a partnership with another company, another startup, in order to complete your product. So for instance, at Nosana, we're like a decentralized GPU marketplace. What does that mean? It means that gamers can provide compute to our platform, but it also means that we do it for AI inference. So it also means that Web2 companies, Web 2.5 AI companies that want to have access to this type of GPUs, they don't necessarily want to deal with all the crypto frictions, So if they want to be able to pay with a credit card and have access straight away to the GPU. So are we like a payment company? No, but maybe we can call a third party and do a partnership with them so they can facilitate the onboarding. Because at the end of the day, you want to make it seamless for the end users. That's why we're here. And that's also how you can onboard the mass. You want to make it seamless. And so that's an example of partnership. So in my mind, I always try to say like a partnership has to be valuable for both sides. The interest has to be aligned, and not just do like partnership for marketing sake or for whatever. So it has to help to solve a problem, to improve the product, and to be beneficial to both communities and to both companies.
Thanks. Next question is about tokenomics because we talk about go-to-market for crypto product. Right? So often there is a token involved. What's your take on what's the role of the tokenomics in the go-to-market, the do, the don'ts? Whatever.
Oh, yeah. You know,
This one is an open one because I think there is no like one good answer. So.
Yeah. So I think it's universally known that tokens are a fantastic go-to-market mechanism, but also fundamentally, if you look at the landscape today, I think there's been a lot of debate on Twitter about customer acquisition costs. Right? If you do the math, any Web2 VC would look at any crypto app or chain's LTV to CAC ratio and probably go, what the fuck? You know, like that golden ratio of less than 3x does not exist in crypto. It's probably like 0.0000 at like 10 more decimal places. What you want to do is have some semblance of product market fit. You know, it's not that different from Web2. You know, you have some semblance of product market fit. You have some growth strategy that you have identified. You know, in Web2, you would go raise your next round, throw $100 million at it, and sort of like accelerate your growth to get to that J curve, right? In crypto, fundamentally, it should be the same. You need to have some semblance of product market fit. You should have some semblance of user demand, and then you sort of like initiate that flywheel growth using the token as a product. Because at the end of the day, all of these crypto activations are for speculators, right? And I don't think a lot of people are going to deny that. Everyone here is for speculation. So for these people, money is the end goal, financial opportunity is the end goal. You need to provide that financial opportunity. But I almost think that like in the long term, this may not be the case, right? Because normies don't have this hurdle rate of meme coin tradings, $10,000 airdrops. Their hurdle rate is I need to pay to use this app, I need to pay to use Uber, I need to pay to use Robinhood, Interactive Brokers, any like financial service. I never expect free money. Eventually, will their behavior skew towards existing crypto native, like kind of like eBay behavior? Sure, of course, right? But I also think there's a whole world of consumer apps where tokens can be used completely differently than like just, hey, I'm just going to give you free money, right? Like new retention mechanisms, building it into like the core product itself, or for example, exploring tokens in a way that a lot of like new deepins have figured out from their last cycle's mistakes. But there's a lot of room for experimentation and a lot left to be desired, to be honest. And like, don't just eat the token out.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, I think I just want to add on to that. I think airdrop is one of the most fantastic ways of getting users. I think it still stands as of now, given that we just launched our own token for Solayer that's now traded. And I think from my own personal experience, I've never seen such a great way of getting users, so cheaply, because in Web2 you have to buy ads. All the channels in the user acquisition channels in Web2 are pretty much monopolized by a couple of different companies, depending on which channel you're looking at, either TV ads or like Facebook. You kind of pay the average cost. So unless you have something that's very much organic, which is with a K factor of bigger than 1, right? That's what the social media folks call it in terms of growth. You are not able to scale down your costs. You won't even break even unless you're doing e-commerce, right? But anything social related that does not take money directly from the users, you won't be able to do it. But right now, I think in crypto, we still have the sort of a premium of using the token and airdrop to attract a lot of folks. And if you just keep building up the potential, like the anticipation, which is financially related, I think people will come. But I think one thing that's not happening, it's happening, starting to happen in the industry, is that some projects not willing to share a big portion of their tokens upfront. So I think that's damaging some of the community trusts, the implicit contract that folks have had with the community members. So I think that's one thing. I think let's just see how it goes, right? It's a neutral comment, it's just like observation I want to share with the panel over here. Yeah.
Do you want to react to that?
Yeah, I'm going to challenge that. I think airdrops are the worst distribution mechanism and the most expensive customer acquisition strategy. If you look at any of the last, and I don't know yours, so I'm not.
If you don't have retention, then you're taking on debts.
Exactly. Like the airdrops are 80-90% sold the moment that they're dropped. It's a down-only chart. It's the most retarded thing that we've done. You literally, you do what Trump did and you parachute cash to everyone. What do? They immediately buy something else with it. It's ridiculous. If you sell tokens at a good price of a good project and the token goes up, that is your best retention strategy. You have to make your cohort rich. You have to align your incentives with the community. If you give them free money, they're just going to immediately dump it. It is a crazy, crazy, crazy waste, but it gets you attention. If you have no follow-up, as you said, if you have no follow-up to your airdrop, you're going to have a down-only chart. It'll be impossible for you to create a buy order for your token because every single person will want to sell.
So I agree to a certain extent. I think it's about the cost of entry. But I think regardless whether you're selling it or you're giving it for free, you have to have a great product that follow up, that have the retention mechanics built in. But I don't, I mean, for me, I think because there's this industry standard practice of giving out free airdrops, which is the implicit contract. So I think I would rather buy it rather than, oh, we're not giving anything, and etc. So just my personal take, right?
Yeah, no, absolutely. If you have no product, then you've got no business. But the reason that you do the airdrop is you're trying to buy alignment. And if you have no original alignment, if you have no organic alignment, you're going to have a down-only chart. And the problem with the down-only chart is you've shot your shot and you're done. You're not going to do another one. You're not going to raise money off the back of it because you've got a price and it's a liquid price. So you have to be really, really careful as to how you orchestrate that.
Do you think this practice of airdrop is coming from Web2 eventually? Because many platforms were actually mining their first user, right? Reddit and etc. There is some user of that where you kind of try to attract the first user by kind of paying them.
Yeah, but even in Web 2, the beautiful thing is you build a cohort by creating great product, and then you offer them a price at which to buy it, and they have to buy. Otherwise, they're out. That's okay. The listed market gives you an opportunity to buy the asset that you've been using, to buy the asset of the cohort that you're in. Look at the Reddit price. You have the hundreds of millions of users. Yeah. The Reddit IPO was fantastic. Yeah.
And in any case, I think in the case of Infinex, you have to kind of bridge the gap, right? Because you have Web2 users eventually that you want to enroll. How do you do that? Any advice on Web3 project that have to bridge the gap? Talk to Web2 players.
Yeah, it's a cliche, and we constantly talk about community alignment. Everything that you do, everything should be community aligned. If your community don't benefit, and if you benefit, you will get found out real quick. The reason that we have this onboarding platform, this centralized front end, is to give our community an opportunity to participate in the things that we get to participate in. That's why we have this great airdrop platform. That's why we have this great Bulls Run campaign, because we've set aside a certain amount of effective money, which is basically the Infinex, the Infinex patrons, or the grants that we've been given, or incentive programs that allow rewarding of actual participation. And people love it. We did the Pengu airdrop for everyone that has an Infinex account and a patron. And the moment that we did it, after that, we got 25,000 signups. So if you reward the community will start to use your product and they'll love your services.
Nice. Glenn, any successful example of marketing campaign you want to share?
Yeah, especially because we're on the Solana panel, I want to give hats off to Helios on this. I think they're one of the best examples that doesn't get talked about a lot. And the reason why is because it's actually a cohesive company and product strategy that acts as a marketing strategy, right? And what I mean by that is they build a validator business that everybody stakes in. As a result of staking in the Helios validator, they don't take fees on it, so that goes back to the user, which is a great incentive for retention. And then as a result of that, their product actually gets better, right? They're able to lane transactions better on Solana, which I think is really cool. And then you get a nice organic word of mouth. And plus also some of the stuff they've done with the Solana Foundation to kind of become the default marketing for Solana, I think is just an example that all of us in Web3 can look up to. Besides some of the other obvious ones like Kaido and stuff like that have been in the news lately, that's one that I think
Giving a lot of value, right, to the users, a cool product. Next question is about, maybe it's a bit of a marketing question. What the role of the brand in the go-to-market? Bourjois, do you want to take that one? Because you're in a challenging place. With the answer, a lot of people are. And that's
Can you repeat the question again?
What the role of the brand in the go-to-market? What would you advise on the brand side? How do you build a great brand?
I would say the most important thing is to be authentic. So a brand has to be strong, especially authentic, because we spoke about the community right now. And I think the community is the most important thing. So it's important to listen to the community to understand the need, what they like, and to align with all the things, but also to stay authentic, because that's what will make it different from the other brands. We're like in Web3, some people they raise an insane amount of money, and obviously they will have like more marketing budget, and they will sponsor more events, they will do bigger things. But if they are not authentic, if they don't bring their personality, then it won't necessarily work. You spoke about Helios. I also think that I don't agree with all his take, but Mert, for instance, he's a great example because he comes and he shares his opinion like unapologetically. And I think that's, for instance, a great marketing because a lot of people they don't necessarily know at first Helios, but they know Mert, and then they will get interested to what he does, and then they will get interested to Helios. And same for instance, Akash, like Greg, the founder, he's very opinionated about open source, about all these type of things. And those I think it's good because they challenge the different opinion, they challenge the different narrative that are on the ecosystem, and they share their opinion like by being themselves. Are they always right? Not necessarily, but they're entitled to their opinion, and I think that's one of the best ways to do marketing and to go to market as well.
Thank you. Next question is for Ryan. I think you have more of a modular approach, like you have a lot of product, and how does it impact the go-to-market for the project that have this modular approach?
Yeah, so I mean, Eclipse settles to Ethereum, but we utilize the Solana virtual machine, right? And Ethereum and Solana haven't traditionally been great friends for quite a lot of time. So we do need to sort of take this.
It's a VTH date.
Yeah, but we do need to take this sort of middle approach. Obviously, in crypto, there's some alignment games that everyone has to play to some extent. Whether that be aligning with some infrastructure, whether that be aligning with some currency. If you aren't playing those alignment games, in a long-term state, I don't really want to play those alignment games. I think they're kind of stupid. I just want to build a valuable product, a good business. But as far as a modular go-to-market approach, just given our inherent architecture, you just bifurcate it, right? ETH is our gas asset. We need to cater to Ethereum users and holders, liquidity providers on one hand, but our developer base is still very much Solana developers, which more or less has zero overlap with the EVM and Solidity side of things, right? That applies to most people. I think most people need to bifurcate the strategy. Somehow there's never a one-size-fits-all solution, but it's also not so complicated. It's not just because we post data to Celestia, we use ETH as a gas token to settle to it, we use the Solana virtual machine, we need this fucking gigabrain strategy to do 3 different things at the same time. It's just who's your target audience for this? You go target them, you do something with them. Who's your target audience here? You go do something with them. That's it.
Nice.
Also, one thing that I think I've got from the previous few answers that I thought was very interesting is community, right? There's this whole community alignment, being authentic, and I've always thought of it as a very weird crypto thing. If you look at Web 2, it's not Uber's going oh my god, I need to go build a fucking Uber community. Or Airbnb is oh, we have the best community, These people are just building valuable products that people want to use, and even on the founder side of things, right? It's not anyone's going to look at the founder of Notion and going, oh my god, this guy is so good. He has such a good story. He's been building this. He moved to Japan for 6 months to build up Notion 2.0. I'm going to go use Notion today, right? I think to me that's because we haven't crossed the chasm yet to mass adoption. Obviously, I don't think we're going to go all the way there. There's going to be some convergence just because token is part of the product. A founder is kind of the face and the branding behind the token, but it's always been a very weird dynamic.
I think there is this sentence from Rockefeller saying, better than a customer, a friend.
So I can help shed some light on that. It's because the difference is most Uber users are not Uber shareholders. When you are a shareholder, you start to buy into the story. When you have a financial interest and financial incentive and alignment, you become a community member. If you ever listen to the early stages of Uber or Google pitching, they're telling a story. It's all a story. Whether they're telling it to VCs or to the open market, it's a story. We're going in this direction. We think that the world is going to look like this. And if you're part of that journey, then come along for the journey with us. If you want to be part of that journey, come along. Look at Jensen. When he talks about AI, he thinks 10 years, 20 years ahead of the future. And he's like, by the way, this is how I see the world. And this is the community that I'm building. If you want, you can participate, and that's why people get involved. So like community, you're right, it's just a weird kumbaya thing, but when you have a financial interest, it's more than just like, oh, I know I want to get rich and I think token go up. That's like 90% of meme coin peddling. But if you have true conviction in something, like most of the people in this room will hold Solana. If you have true conviction, you're waiting to hear what Tony thinks. You're waiting to hear what my bald friend thinks, and you want to participate in his journey. You're like, okay, you scale and make it go faster and make it be more efficient, and then everyone uses the L1. I believe that, and I'm going to participate.
You want to say something or get
I was gonna say something.
Let's go there.
I'm just curious, like in like 10 years, 20 down the road, mass adoption, like just at least in Web 2, right? You don't. Well, at least personally, my gut feeling is that you never see a large overlap between the sort of holder of the asset, or like the equity, and the user base, right? I think that converges in crypto to some extent, but also not like fully, right? And I mean, I'm curious just because like a lot of the time the token almost isn't inherent to the product, right? Like you don't need to hold the token to use the product. At the end of the day, the token is Gary gets us. Thank God he's gone. He's not gonna kill me here. But like, you don't need to use it to the product, but like you receive like financial benefits from the product, so you don't have to own Uber to like use Uber. And I think that's still the case for a lot of like Web3 apps protocols today. So I'm curious, like from your perspective, do you think that converges? And I guess in that end state, you know, like the difference between the token holder community and the sort of user community, there's that same idea of like, hey, like this, because a lot of community has been focused on like users that are token holders today, but I'm not sure if that exists 10 years down the road.
Yeah, just want to add something real quick. I actually agree with Ren's point much more. I think the entire crypto trading space is very much narrative indexed. There is no fundamental that you can actually use to price. There are, for layer 1 chains, the top ones, yes, they follow that trend to some extent, but you also notice that PE or whatever, like a revenue multiple that's with a 10x variation, depending on if the narrative is shifting in that direction. And then once you move out of the top 3, 5, and you look at Ripple and then these other coins, you'll notice that they just go off the chart, right? So everything else when people say about community is just, it's very much narrative index. They're trying to create a buy community, and it does not, I'm a builder myself, but it does not relate to the product most of the time, and the usage of the product. Just track on chain stats is never the case, right? So, but I think that's, something that's very hard to create, to be honest. Even if you want to do something like that, it's not easy, right? So I think the way of doing it now, as the industry gets more mature, is by looking at the actual data, the TVL, and whether there are people using it, and then by that you hope to get more consensus and from the community. And also another way on the airdrop, the way how they forged consensus back then was by being early. Second, I think they gave a lot of people, I think tens of millions of people airdrop. In order to get that consensus, that level of distribution and consensus, and through multiple market cycles, that belief, narrative, whatever, right, you call it, was established just through multiple cycles of trading. From the very early days of 2016, when I first got my, I think, Stella airdrop, I also bought into Ripple ICO. So it was like how early that was.
So you bought into the Ripple ICO and you don't like Ripple?
I'm not saying I don't like Ripple. I'm just saying that
Don't worry, I don't like Ripple. That's okay.
Yeah, it's like objective observation that it's just narrative index, not necessarily fundamental. Like there's no P ratio, right?
My question was gonna be, you bought into the Ripple ICO and you're not retired yet. Sorry.
Another thing, real quick, it's really hard to hold across multiple cycles.
We should dig into that. That would be way more interesting. To your last point, no, I don't think it converges because you effectively, it's like Uniswap, right? Most people use Uniswap. You're not going to fucking hold that token. There's no way. Like, it means nothing to you.
It's a different product.
It's a completely different
Maybe they turn on the fee switch.
And even if they turn on the fee switch, it's still like, well, I'm not sure about that. But there is a cohort of VCs that are happy to buy and hold that because at some point in time, you will turn on that fee switch and they will start making money. And at some point in time, the truck that they backed up to fill up those bags are going to be worth something. And that is the real difference. The users and the community are converged right now, but eventually when you have real product market fit, real Lindy, you'll have a disparity between those. The community will turn into your investors and the users will just use the product.
All right, let's close on that. Guys, I'm sorry, it was too short. Like you guys,
Too short.
There is too many things to
If we
say.
have a story about what you sold in the previous cycle,
Yeah.
then you're gonna make me cry. But
I
go.
actually sold it right before my finals when I was at Berkeley. It was too stressful, so I sold everything. And then I showed up when I was having my finals. So I was like, sorry.
Brutal.
Yeah. All right. Thank you so much, guys. Give a round of applause. That was amazing. Thank you so much.